Get ready for the action, because we are diving straight into the thrills from Le Mans. Jorge Martin of Aprilia Racing stormed to an emotional victory at the Michelin Grand Prix of France, completing a stunning comeback to win his first Grand Prix in 588 days. We break down the incredible moments and the incredible emotions behind this historic win and what it means for the Aprilia factory.
Never get caught with a dead phone again. This INIU portable charger is compact, travel-friendly, and gives you fast 45-watt charging with a built-in USB-C cable, so there's no need to carry extra cords. With 10,000 mAh power, it's perfect for busy days, trips, emergencies, or anytime your battery drops too low. Grab yours on Amazon through the link in the comments before your phone hits 1%.
Next up, we look at the intense battle for the podium as Marco Bezzecchi, also riding for Aprilia Racing, finished a very strong race, securing second place and keeping the championship fight incredibly tight. We'll explore what this result means for his championship standing and the dynamics between the two factory riders. And you won't believe this historic achievement. Ai Ogura of the Trackhouse MotoGP team has officially made history by taking the podium, becoming the first Japanese rider to do so in 14 years and the first ever MotoGP podium finisher to come through the Asia Talent Cup. This is massive news for the Japanese motorcycle community. We wrap up with the bigger picture. We examine Aprilia's position, as factory manager Paolo Bonora says they are not yet ready to claim the RSGP as the best bike in MotoGP, despite their incredible results. Don't miss these massive takeaways from the French GP, and stick around because we have more breaking news coming up. Noi Dung Kai Tight. The Michelin Grand Prix of France at Le Mans concluded with dramatic finishes, emotional comebacks, and historic achievements across the MotoGP grid. Jorge Martin from Aprilia Racing secured an emotional victory, achieving his first Grand Prix win in 588 days. Martin reflected on his triumph, stating, "I never thought that I could fight for victory, but for sure, I never gave up, ". He credited his success to faith and the support of Aprilia. Martin also shared a philosophy on adversity, noting that negative experiences have ultimately shaped him into the man he is today. Marco Bezzecchi finished second, narrowly missing the top step on Sunday. Despite the result, Bezzecchi expressed immense gratitude for the team and engineers, highlighting the positive experience of developing his bike. He maintains a 1-point advantage in the World Championship standings heading into the next round in Barcelona. Ai Ogura made history by securing a podium finish, becoming the first Japanese rider to stand on the MotoGP podium in 14 years and the first ever podium finisher to come through the Asia Talent Cup. Ogura acknowledged that qualifying remains a weakness, emphasizing the team's focus on continuous improvement. The competition was fierce, notably between Pedro Acosta and Fabio Di Giannantonio, who traded blows until the final moments, with Acosta ultimately edging out Di Giannantonio by 0.14 seconds. Acosta admitted to being overly defensive, while Di Giannantonio detailed his strategy for an overtake attempt at turn 9. Francesco Bagnaia experienced a difficult end to his weekend, suffering a crash on lap 16, which ended a positive overall performance. Bagnaia remained optimistic, pointing to significant team improvements and positive pace throughout the race, despite a challenging start and a late race issue that led to the incident. The weekend was characterized by intense battles, manufacturer shifts, and significant personal milestones for the riders involved. Aprilia is maintaining a cautious stance regarding claims of its RSGP being the best motorcycle in MotoGP, despite a dominant performance in the 2026 season. The factory team has secured a podium lockout in France and has won 4 of the first 5 races of the 2026 season. Furthermore, Aprilia currently leads all 3 major championships for riders, teams, and manufacturers. The manufacturer has also secured the joint most sprints wins, with Jorge Martin and Ducati sharing 2 victories each, both facilitated by Marc Marquez. However, Aprilia Racing team manager Paolo Bonora stated that the time was not yet right to declare the RSGP the premier machine. Speaking to TNT Sports after the Le Mans race, Bonora emphasized patience, stating, "We didn't achieve anything at the moment. We have only one goal at the end of the championship, and the only way, to be honest with you, and we think it is the right way, is to don't put any expectation into our riders." He added that the team maintains a disciplined approach, communicating clearly to the riders that they must maintain their current performance level, urging patience and trust. On the rider front, Jorge Martin demonstrated significant improvement in France, securing his first Grand Prix victory with the Aprilia machine after closing a gap of over 2 seconds on Marco Bezzecchi in the final 10 laps. Bonora attributed Martin's success to adjustments made during the Jerez test, noting that the team found improvements in both the bike setup and electronics for Martin, who reportedly felt better on the machine. Bonora suggested that Bezzecchi missed an opportunity at Le Mans, pointing to the need for an agile yet stable bike configuration to handle the track layout effectively. Martin's improved performance contrasted with Bezzecchi's struggles, though Bezzecchi remains 1 point behind in the overall championship heading into Barcelona. Jorge Martin, Marco Bezzecchi et Ai Ogura ont marqué un triplé historique pour Aprilia lors du Grand Prix de France MotoGP 2026, tenu sur le circuit Bugatti du Mans. Jorge Martin, pilote Aprilia Racing, a remporté les deux courses du week-end, revenant ainsi un point de l'avance sur le leader du championnat. Marco Bezzecchi, également de Aprilia Racing, est classé deuxième, conservant la tête du championnat avec un point d'avance. Ai Ogura, de Trackhouse MotoGP team, a décroché la huitième place. Cette performance a vu Aprilia monopoliser les 3 premières places d'un Grand Prix pour la première fois dans son histoire. Lors de sa conférence de presse, Jorge Martin a décrit le week-end comme presque parfait, soulignant la difficulté accrue pour la victoire lors du Grand Prix. Il a expliqué que, bien qu'il ait été en première position hier, la course du dimanche fut plus ardue, décrivant une lutte acharnée où il a finalement cru à sa victoire à 8 tours de la fin, motivé par la performance de sa moto et la saution d'Aprilia. Concernant son évolution personnelle, Martin a exprimé sa gratitude envers les difficultés rencontrées, affirmant que chaque épreuve elle a transformé en meilleur pilote. Il a souligné que, bien qu'il cherche encore sa base idéale de réglages, les progrès constants avec Aprilia sont la clé, et qu'il travaille actuellement sur la stabilité au freinage. Marco Bezzecchi a salué la régularité de sa performance, devenant le premier pilote, depuis Valentino Rossi en 2015, à s'y placer sur le podium lors des 5 premiers Grands Prix de la saison. Il a reconnu que Jorge Martin est sa principale motivation, le poussant à donner le meilleur de lui-même, et qu'il s'y poussant mutuellement à progresser. Ai Ogura a également été mise en lumière, devenant le premier pilote japonais à monter sur un podium MotoGP depuis Katsuki Nakasuga en 2012. L'équipe Aprilia a célébré ses succès collectifs, insistant sur la motivation générée par ces résultats pour les courses à venir. L'équipe s'y concentre désormais sur la recherche d'une configuration optimale de la moto pour maximiser la performance dans les prochaines étapes du championnat. The 2026 French Motorcycle Grand Prix at Le Mans delivered a thrilling display of rider skill and team dynamics, highlighted by a maiden victory for Jorge Martin and significant developments for the Aprilia factory effort. Martin secured his first-ever MotoGP win for Aprilia, marking his first victory since Mandalika 588 days prior, and the first time a fellow Aprilia rider had beaten him on a Sunday in 2026. This triumph was particularly noteworthy, as it marked Aprilia's first-ever MotoGP win at Le Mans, with only 1 point separating Martin from his teammate, Marco Bezzecchi, who maintains a championship lead. This event also represented Aprilia's third consecutive 1-2 finish this season, continuing a strong trend in their performance. The competitive landscape remains tight, with both Bezzecchi and Martin holding more than a full weekend's worth of points, placing them ahead of third-placed Dijon Antonio, suggesting a looming Aprilia title battle. The overall performance of the Aprilia factory has been transformative, with all 4 RSGP riders now situated within the top 6 of the championship standings, alongside the factory and trackhouse outfits being among the top 2 teams. In other news, Ai Ogura achieved a significant milestone by finishing 3rd, securing his first Premier Class rostrum and marking Aprilia's first-ever MotoGP podium lockout. Ogura also became the first Asia Talent Cup graduate to feature in the top 3 of a MotoGP race, and the first Japanese MotoGP podium finisher since Katsuyuki Nakasuga's 2nd place in Valencia 2012. Meanwhile, the Ducati Lenovo team faced setbacks, with Marc Marquez withdrawing from the race and Pecco Bagnaia crashing from P2, leading to a double-digit podium drought for the Italian rider. Furthermore, the factory Ducati Reds are trailing Satellite VR46 in the quest for the top Desmos Desai team spot, potentially mirroring their worst-ever year-end finish from 2004. Fabio Quartararo's weekend was the highlight for Yamaha, with a sprint P5 and a Grand Prix P6 haul, more than doubling their points total since Jerez. The track also saw an unusual event, where all M1 riders scored points in the same race for the first time this season, including Jack Miller's first points of the 2026 season. In the Moto3 category, Maximo Quiles achieved the highest points total in Moto3 history after 5 rounds, while Jonas Folger, replacing Maverick Viñales for Tech 3 KTM, was the only classified rider to score no points. Despite rain forecasts, the Bugatti circuit delivered an instant classic, with no wet weather tire changes or bike swaps required for the MotoGP action.